Ever felt like your ego is both your biggest strength and your worst enemy? Like, it takes serious self-belief to actually go after your dreams, but that same drive can make you blind to your own BS? Yeah, it's a trip. What if I told you that delusions are actually one of the best tools for success if you know how to control them? Because here's the truth. No one starts out as the finished product. You gotta believe in something before you see it, but get too lost in your own hype, and you're headed for a crash. Most people either hustle to death, overthink to paralysis, or chase dopamine highs. But I found a method that blends the best of all worlds. Let me break it down. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 different mindsets people use to achieve success, or self-destruct. I'll compare them, explain their pros and cons, and then show you the method I personally use to balance ambition, discipline, and self-awareness. And trust me, once you understand this, you'll never look at self-improvement the same way again. Alright, let's talk about the hustler. This is someone who's all about that grind 24/7, 365. They're up before the sun, working while everyone else is sleeping, and they're fueled by the hustle. And you know what? It works. To a point. The hustler gets shit done. They're disciplined, they're focused, and they're not afraid of hard work. They're the ones putting in the extra hours, building the businesses and chasing their dreams. They're not waiting for permission, they're making it happen. But here's the thing about the hustler. They're always on. They're so caught up in the grind that they forget to take care of themselves. They neglect their mental health, they ignore their intuition, and they burn themselves out. Think of your classic Gary Vee type entrepreneur. Always working, always hustling, always pushing. It's inspiring, but it's not sustainable. You can't pour from an empty cup. The hustler needs to learn how to balance their ambition with self-care. They need to learn how to rest, how to recharge, and how to listen to their bodies. Otherwise, they're going to crash and burn. Remember, success is a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourself. Next up, we've got the overthinker. This is the person who's always in their head, analyzing every angle and second-guessing every decision. They're smart, they're strategic, and they want to make the right move. But they end up making no move at all. Look, I'm all about being thoughtful and strategic, but the overthinker takes it to a whole other level. They're so afraid of making a mistake that they end up paralyzed. They're stuck in analysis paralysis, constantly researching, planning, and preparing, but never actually taking action. The overthinker is full of potential. They have great ideas, they're intelligent, and they're capable of achieving great things, but their fear of failure holds them back. They're so busy thinking about what could go wrong that they don't even try. I've seen this so many times. People who read every self-help book, attend every webinar, and listen to every podcast, but they never actually apply what they learn. They're stuck in a cycle of information consumption without any real-world action. The overthinker needs to learn how to trust their gut. They need to realize that it's okay to make mistakes, that failure is a part of the process, and that the only way to learn and grow is to take action. Get out of your head and into the game. The world needs your ideas. Chapter 3. Let's talk about the dopamine chaser. This is the person who's always chasing the next high, the next quick fix, the next easy win. They're all about instant gratification, and they're not afraid to cut corners to get it. Now, there's nothing wrong with enjoying life and seeking pleasure, but the dopamine chaser takes it to an extreme. They're so focused on feeling good in the moment that they sacrifice long-term progress. They're constantly hopping from one thing to the next, never really committing to anything. Think about the person who spends hours scrolling through TikTok, watching funny videos and chasing viral trends. They're entertained, sure, but are they actually building anything meaningful? Are they moving towards their goals, or are they just wasting time? The dopamine chaser is often creative, energetic, and passionate. They have a lot of potential, but they lack the discipline and focus to channel it effectively. They get distracted easily, they give up when things get tough, and they're always looking for the easy way out. The dopamine chaser needs to learn how to delay gratification. They need to understand that real satisfaction comes from achieving meaningful goals, not from chasing fleeting highs. They need to develop discipline, focus, and the ability to stick with things even when they don't feel good in the moment. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Enjoy the process, but don't get lost in the distractions. Chapter 4. Now let's talk about the monk. This is the person who's all about inner peace, self-awareness, and detachment from the material world. They're on a spiritual journey seeking enlightenment and transcendence. The monk is often wise, compassionate, and insightful. They're able to see the bigger picture, they're not attached to material possessions, and they're not driven by ego. They're content with simplicity and find joy in the present moment. But here's the thing about the monk, they can be a little too detached. They're so focused on their inner world that they forget about the outer world. They might not be driven to create, to build, or to make a tangible impact. Imagine someone who spends all day meditating, practicing yoga, and reflecting on their inner self. That's amazing, but are they using their wisdom and insights to make the world a better place? Are they sharing their gifts with others? Or are they keeping it all to themselves? The monk needs to find a balance between inner peace and outer impact. They need to learn how to channel their wisdom and compassion into action. They need to realize that they can be both spiritual and ambitious, both detached and engaged. Remember, you can be at peace and make a difference in the world. Your unique gifts are meant to be shared. Chapter 5. Finally, let's talk about the hybrid. This is the person who's mastered the art of balancing self-delusion and self-awareness. They understand the power of ego, but they also know how to keep it in check. The hybrid is the ultimate entrepreneur, the self-aware hustler, the mindful achiever. They're ambitious, they're driven, and they're not afraid to dream big. But they're also grounded, self-aware, and able to see their own BS. They understand that a healthy dose of delusion is necessary to achieve great things. You gotta believe in yourself, even when no one else does. You gotta be willing to bet on yourself, even when the odds are stacked against you. But the hybrid also knows that too much delusion can be dangerous. They're constantly checking themselves, making sure their ego isn't getting out of control. They're not afraid to ask for feedback, to admit when they're wrong, and to course correct when necessary. The hybrid is the one who's able to achieve sustainable success. They're not burning themselves out, they're not overthinking themselves into paralysis, and they're not chasing fleeting highs. They're playing the long game, and they're winning. This is the mindset I strive for every single day. It's a constant balancing act, but it's the key to living a fulfilling and impactful life. At the end of the day, success is about mastering both self-belief and self-awareness. If you only have one, you'll either never start or you'll self-destruct. It's about finding that sweet spot, that balance between hustle and flow, between ambition and contentment. Which of these mindsets do you think you use the most? Are you a hustler, an overthinker, a dopamine chaser, a monk, or a hybrid? Drop a comment below, I want to know. And if this video gave you some things to think about, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology, self-mastery, and leveling up. We're in this together.